You wake up, and there's nothing to eat, not a little less than usual, nothing. No berries left on the bushes, no fish in the stream. The hunt yesterday failed. The one before that failed too. For a modern person, that's a bad day. For most of human history, it was a Tuesday. And here's the strange part. You're alive right now, reading this, because somewhere back in your bloodline, someone survived weeks exactly like this. Not once, over and over, generation after generation, without a fridge, without a grocery store, without any guarantee that tomorrow would bring food either. So how did a species with almost none of the safety nets we take for granted make it through famine after famine and still come out the other side? The answer isn't luck. It's biology, and it's still running inside you right now, even if you've never once had to use it the way your ancestors did. Here's the twist most people don't know. When food disappears, your body doesn't just weaken and shut down like a machine running out of gas. It switches fuel sources deliberately, in stages, almost like it was engineered for exactly this moment. For the first day without food, your body burns through stored sugar, glycogen, kept in your liver and muscles. That reserve runs out fast, usually within 24 to 48 hours. This is the point where most animals would already be in serious trouble because glucose is the default fuel for almost every cell in the body, especially the brain. But humans carry a backup system most other species can't fully use. Once the sugar is gone, your liver starts converting fat into molecules called ketones. And unlike almost every other organ, your brain can run on them. That single detail changes everything. Your brain, the most energy-hungry organ in your entire body, doesn't have to shut down when the sugar disappears. It just switches tanks. This is why humans can survive weeks, sometimes over a month, without food, while staying mentally sharp enough to keep hunting, keep foraging, keep making the kind of decisions that determine whether they see the next season. A starving human brain isn't automatically a foggy, failing brain. For a surprisingly long stretch, it's a brain running on an entirely different fuel supply. And this backup system starts before you're even born. Human babies arrive in the world fatter than the newborns of any other primate on Earth. A human newborn carries roughly 5 times the body fat of a newborn chimpanzee. That fat isn't just cushioning. It's a preloaded energy reserve built specifically to protect a brain that grows faster than any food supply could reliably keep up with. Nature installed the emergency backup before your ancestors even took their first breath. But biology alone doesn't explain everything. A body that can survive 3 weeks without food still needs a plan for week 4 and week 5 and the next bad season after that. This is where culture stepped in, and where humans stopped just enduring famine and started engineering around it. Long before writing, before farming, before permanent settlements, humans were already inventing food preservation. Archaeological evidence shows sun-drying of meat and fish stretching back more than 12,000 years. Fermentation, deliberately letting food transform through controlled decay, goes back roughly as far. And here's what makes this so remarkable. Across completely unconnected cultures, from Scandinavia to the Arctic to the Americas, with no contact and no shared knowledge, people independently arrived at nearly the same solutions. Dry it, salt it, smoke it, ferment it, or bury it somewhere cold and let the earth do the work. Some of these methods look strange through a modern lens. Arctic peoples fermented meat and fish underground for weeks at a time, food that would look and smell rotten by today's standards, but was actually a stable, nutrient-dense reserve built specifically for the hungriest months of the year. Across the Americas, communities independently developed pemmican, dried meat pounded together with rendered fat and berries into a dense, portable ration that could last for years without spoiling. Different continents, different climates, different peoples who never met each other. And yet, the same core idea, discovered again and again. That's not coincidence. That's what happens when a species shares the same survival problem and the same biological toolkit and keeps solving the same puzzle independently on every inhabited continent for thousands of years. Preservation wasn't the only strategy either. Long before anyone thought to store food for later, foragers were already widening what counted as food in the first place. When the preferred sources ran out, the fruit, the fish, the reliable game, hunter-gatherer groups fell back on tougher, less appealing options. Eat tubers and roots that needed hours of processing to become edible, insects, shellfish, even bone marrow cracked out of the leftover kills of other predators. None of it was glamorous. All of it kept people alive long enough to reach the next good season. And here's the part that's easy to miss. Surviving famine was never just about one body enduring hunger. It was about an entire community thinking months ahead, killing more than was needed in a good season, preserving the surplus, and trusting a future version of themselves and their children to need it later. That kind of long-range planning, built entirely around the threat of hunger, may be one of the oldest forms of cooperation our species ever practiced. Here's the twist. The very systems that made ancient humans famine-proof are still shaping your body today. That instinct to crave calorie-dense food, to overeat the moment it's available, to store fat easily and lose it slowly? That's not a modern flaw in your willpower. That's the exact same emergency system your ancestors depended on to survive the next famine. A system built for a world where food scarcity was the normal condition, not the rare exception. You're not fighting a broken metabolism. You're carrying an extremely well-engineered one, tuned for a world that, for most of us, no longer exists. And that's really what this story is about. Every time your stomach growls and your brain nudges you toward the nearest source of calories, you're hearing a signal that's tens of thousands of years old. One that once meant the difference between your ancestors surviving to raise children or disappearing from the historical record entirely. You didn't inherit hunger by accident. You inherited it because over and over again it worked. Don't forget to subscribe to Aman Uncovers because it is worth it.